The following program has been rated GE by the Kenya Film Classification Board. It is therefore suitable for general family viewing.
Hello viewer, welcome to today's episode of Women's View. I'm your host Anne Moremi, and as always it's a pleasure to have you. So happy new month, by the way. February is here with us, and you know what they say about February? It's a month of love. I don't know what the other months are, but well, February is the declared month of love. So happy new month. With me in studio, I have two ladies, and before I introduce the topic, I want to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves. Remember that we are on social media, GBS TV Africa, on YouTube, on Facebook, and if you want to send us an SMS, the number to use is 21144. Welcome and enjoy the show. So I'll start with my co-host, Karibu Sana.
Thank you. Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. My name is Lily Kamau, or Lillian, but you can call me whichever you like. I am a musician, I'm a film producer, and I'm also the co-host here. I hope you've had a good week. I
had a good week. This week I did something that is on my bucket list.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I went deep sea fishing.
Wow.
Yeah, I like having you, Lillian, because you make me say a little bit about myself, which I rarely do. So I was really happy over the weekend. I got to do deep sea fishing, and it was amazing. But it also had its own challenges.
Maybe that will be next week's conversation.
I think so. Thank you. How was your week?
My week was good, very relaxing. Just the normal, but it was relaxing. I'm blessed. Yeah.
Asante sana. So we have a guest in studio, and I want to give her a chance as well to introduce herself. Welcome.
Hello, viewer. My name is Dr. Jacqueline Kamau. I am a pharmacist, a clinical pharmacist by profession. I currently work in regulation of the pharmaceutical industry. And I'm looking forward to today's topic.
Excellent. So by the way, when I was growing up, I wanted to be a pharmacist. So you're living my dream. And the reason I didn't make it to pharmacy is because though I had an A- in KCSE, you require an A, and not just an A, but a very strong A. So I'm telling you that so that you know that this lady, she's one of those intelligence above average. Well done, good for you.
Thank you.
So today's topic is very interesting. We're talking about the blue pill menace. So there's been a lot of things happening in social media where we've seen a lot of people using sexual enhancement drugs, and unfortunately, they pass on or things happen, and so we decided to call in an expert and in a very nice and easy way, like discuss about the blue pill and what it's for, what it's meant for, and stuff like that, just to be able to talk about it, because this being February, I have a feeling that people will be using it a lot.
Those who use it will up the intake.
This is around this season.
I would think so.
The sales are going to go high.
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay. You guys looked like you had a conversation and you were all in red, but it's okay. I have some red somewhere.
You missed the memo.
Here, there's a red here.
We need a magnifying glass to look for that red. But your lipstick is red, so you're one of us.
Next week,
we are
you will see me. Feb 14th is coming. Anyway, so let's get into it. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. At what point did you want to be a pharmacist, and how has been your career so far? Do you enjoy it, or do you wish that maybe you were in something different and stuff like that?
Actually, my childhood desire, like most children, was to become a doctor, like my dad. And of course, just like you, I missed the mark. So, you kind of gave a story there. Like, I also missed the mark to go to University of Nairobi. And so I took the opportunity to go and do it in the States. And then when I got to the States, I found out that my father was not a billionaire, and I needed
It hit home.
It hit home. And I found an opportunity to study pharmacy on scholarship. That also depended on my grades, so I had to keep my grades up to stay on scholarship, but it made a big difference for us, in, you know, with school fees as international students.
Yeah.
So that's how I wound up in pharmacy.
Oh.
Now I enjoy what I do.
Okay.
I actually don't see patients anymore. I miss it. I'm a people person. I'm an extrovert, and so seeing patients was always my joy. It's just that when I came back, I fell into regulation, and now I tend to speak more to papers and things, but I enjoy it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because regulation is more of making sure that certain rules are enforced, certain policies.
Yes, and the drugs are safe,
Yes,
and
that's
they're doing what they're supposed to do. Yeah. Yeah.
So, out of curiosity, when you are dispensing drugs or when you're doing clinical pharmacy and seeing patients, did you ever meet somebody that you had to prescribe the blue pill to?
Well, we didn't prescribe, but I did. I dispensed the pill. Yeah, pretty often. Yes. It was also associated with older people then, but now I understand and I hear, you know, it's that the population that's taking that pill is getting younger and younger. It's actually a party drug, from what I hear.
Oh dear.
What are some of the challenges you have in terms of regulating the blue pill, particularly?
Well, do you actually regulate it? I thought, when you say regulation, do you mean like you don't want it to be sold too much, or what are you regulating?
So the part of regulation that we work in is the part that registers this product in the market and to make it available to patients. Now we are regulated by the pharmacy board, and there is the inspectorate part of the pharmacy board's mandate, which then goes around and makes sure that this product is not winding up in the wrong hands and it's actually being prescribed, because it is a prescription-only medication.
It is,
Yes.
It's not an over-the-counter drug, eh?
No, it is not.
But people get it over the counter.
Of course.
Unfortunately, we have lax regulation. So yes, in Kenya you can get almost anything.
Okay, so let's start with the more legit reason. To whom is it given? Is it somebody who is old, or somebody who is not performing sexually, or they want to enhance their performance, or who should have it?
So the pill is designed for people who have what we call it an erectile dysfunction.
ED, okay.
Erectile dysfunction is very different from premature ejaculation. A lot of people don't know the difference.
Okay.
Erectile dysfunction is the inability of achieving an erection at least 75% of the times you attempt to.
Okay.
That's what would be determined as erectile dysfunction. So to achieve it and to maintain it.
Okay.
That is what would be termed as erectile dysfunction. So it is supposed to be prescribed to patients who are suffering from ED.
So allow me to interrupt, Lilian.
Yeah.
A lot of men, their ego is very sensitive around erectile dysfunction, like the inability to hold an erection.
Yeah.
So I'm so surprised that the sales are high, yet most people feel that they can already have an erection, right? You'd expect that people would avoid the drug that is related with ED. Isn't that so?
Yeah,
because if I'm buying it, it means...
Of acceptance.
Yeah.
Do you find that acceptance is a problem among the men who need it?
First of all, we need to also then normalize the fact that once you reach the age of 40 as a man, there's going to be some signs, or there's going to be some moments where you will have erectile dysfunction. And like I said, for diagnosis, it has to be 75% of the time. So if it happens once a year, it's not something to worry about.
You shouldn't panic.
No.
When you meet this girl and everything is working, and then you get there and it's not working anymore.
The engine is not starting.
How frustrating is that? I mean, I wonder how men feel about that.
I don't think we should be laughing.
I know, because that's
It's
adding
not
to the
funny.
stigma.
It's not
Yes.
funny.
We're
It's
laughing
not
because
that.
it doesn't happen. Okay, but
it
know,
happens.
It happens.
It happens,
Yeah.
and it happens. Unfortunately, even as you age, I wouldn't say at that age, at 40, the male desire to have sex is still there. It's just that you kind of have a few moments of the dysfunction, but it's also psychogenic. It's also in your mind a lot of times, because you're already anxious about this act. A lot of the times you have erectile dysfunction doesn't necessarily mean there's anything wrong. Sometimes it's just in your mind. But there are populations that then are more prone to having erectile dysfunction depending on what other comorbidities that they have.
And I think it's a vicious cycle in a way because the first time it happens,
It triggers stress.
it triggers stress, and then maybe it has never happened before. All the time, things have been even now working well, and now maybe now the second time, now you're like you keep remembering that at the time, and that makes it worse, right? So it's a vicious cycle.
Yes. So the anxiety, performance anxiety, then makes it even worse, and then that happens.
Okay. Apart from being a party drug, do you find that demand increases with stress? And I think stress increases. Stress levels in the world increase every day because, like, guys were like, let's just get out of 2019. 2020 is our year, and then 2020 hit us with some more dose of new things that give us anxiety. So do you find that when people are stressed, generally, that the demand increases? And, what would you say about that? Because it's not really a medical condition that's making it happen. It's just stress. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was going to say stress by itself will cause erectile dysfunction in many males. And if you think about it, by the time you're getting to 40, your children are going to university, they're going to, life stresses are a little more even at that age.
Yes.
So you tend to experience it then. And I don't work in sales, so I don't know what happens to the sales, whether they peak or they don't. Even the assumption or the presumption that it's going to go up in February.
I know. You can't tell about
I can't tell about that, but I would see why Valentine's Day particularly, everybody has this fairy tale that on that day something should happen. And,
I know. So much pressure.
I'm imagining that. I'm imagining that sales would probably go up. Similarly to the sales of condoms on that day.
Of course, absolutely, So tell us about the blue pill. What does it do to your body to solve the problem?
Okay, so there are two big chambers in the penis, and when you take, let's call them sex enhancing drugs. Yes. They cause those two cavities to fill up with blood. Okay. And it's all about blood flow. So they dilate those chambers and they fill up with blood, which is what then maintains the erection. That's what the erection is. And an erection is just about those two chambers being filled up with blood and staying full enough to maintain whatever period of sex.
So simple.
Yeah, so it sounds so simple.
Blood filling a chamber for long enough to maintain the erection, and then you can be comfortable and finish the whole process. Yeah. But
there are two issues. First of all, the mind, the psychology, and then the biology. So when it's biology, when someone goes to the hospital and they have a biological problem, like a lifestyle disease or something, then it seems almost obvious that that drug should be prescribed. But what about when someone is having psychological issues? Is it, how do you, because I feel like psychological issues are so, they're not treatable, always treatable
tangible
by medicine. Yeah, they're not always treatable by medicine. So I think and then stress is always there. It's, I mean, if it's not there for 1 minute, the next minute it's there. So I find it like it might be difficult to use this blue pill every time you're stressed. You get my question. My question is, so how do you deal with the how can a man know that this is psychological?
Yeah, like today, I don't have a penis because I'm stressed. Not because my cavities are not dilating. Yeah, not because of my blood flow. It's because I had a problem with my balls. Yeah. Is it possible as a person to tell, or that is a very difficult
if you're in
distinction?
Touch with yourself and you know yourself well enough, you'll be able to tell. The only question is then, what do you do? We are not very a therapy-oriented kind of nation.
Yeah.
we're
But
not.
psychotherapy works wonders
It does.
with the psychogenic part of ED. Yes.
Okay.
And even while I'm a pharmacist, and yes, we like to dispense these, and I always say try the non-pharmacological ways. Start exercising. Stop smoking. Cut
Yeah.
down on your drinking. And then eventually, even before you start pharmacotherapy, just go and see a therapist. And a lot of times psychotherapy works wonders by itself.
Oh, wow, that's very good already, because
Yeah.
there's, if you have ED, there are all these things you can do first before you run to the blue pill.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
And
just a quick fix, but it's also a risky fix, by running to the pill.
What's
So
the
it's-
risk?
what's risky about it? Because I thought it works. It dilates the chambers and
Yeah.
blood flows and it flows. I was like, wow, voila, I love it.
There's no medication out there without some
I mean, it
risk.
sounds like
yes,
magic,
It
doesn't
sounds
it?
like magic.
Yeah.
It's an instant fix, I guess,
Yeah.
but it's not the way to go, especially if you're planning to go the long haul. I mean, if you think about starting to take the pill at 25, what's going to happen when you're 70? And
Yeah,
what
what's-
are you going to turn to at 70?
Yeah, what's going to happen?
And if you
I
get
think
used
that's
to
what I'm
it,
wondering.
by the way, we're asking you so many questions. I don't even know whether we're giving her a chance to, but it's okay.
Yeah.
If you get used to it, can you get addicted to it such that now, without it, now you can't function?
In fact, what we call it is dependence. And that dependence may not even be physical, it's in your head. So you'll be telling yourself, without the pill, I know I won't perform. And so you just get into that vicious cycle again. So you have to take it to perform. But at some point, it will not be enough, because you can't go from 100 to 200 to 3. I mean, there's a limit to how much you can take without significant risk. So it's always advisable, do everything non-pharmacological first before you turn to the pill. And then remember that even some of the medications you're already taking could be causing the ED.
But Daktari, let's be serious. Here you are. You want this thing to happen now. Now is, let's see.
It's an emergency.
And nowadays there's curfew. Anyway, let's assume that you're going to spend there. So if you try the first time and it doesn't work, should you just try first talking to yourself, or should you go out for a run immediately, then come and try again? Or do you take the pill? Is it instantaneous also? Like,
Oh,
do you
yeah.
take it like, and then 10 minutes later it's working? Or do you take it and then you wait out 2 hours?
So you take it 30 minutes to 60 minutes before you intend to have sex.
Okay.
And the effect that it will have is it will allow you to have more erections within, those people who go sex and then 4 hours later they want to have sex again.
Yeah.
So it allows you to be able to have erections back to back, so to speak.
All
What's
right.
the minimum, what's a maximum dosage?
Prescribing we always say no more than 100, but I have seen studies where they've done 200 milligrams of sildenafil specifically.
But
there's
break it
others.
down a little,
What?
because is it like one tablet is 100?
Sildenafil comes in 25 milligrams, 50 milligrams, 100 milligrams is the highest. So I have seen certain patients tried on 2 of the 100 milligrams to see how it works.
Okay.
But usually
Wow,
I always
that's
say
an
start with the
overdose.
lowest.
You mean in a day?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, in a day.
Wow. And okay, I wish we could think about the other side. Here you are, you've taken 200. In 30 to 60 minutes it's working, and you're able to go many times. How does it feel for the person receiving? Will they now be the ones tired, the lady, or like, please never take this drug again?
Yeah.
I've had it.
Remember, what Viagra does, what sildenafil does is allow you to go several times, not for long, not necessarily long. If you're an 8-minute man or a 2-minute man, you're still going to do your 2 minutes at 8 minutes. It just means in an hour and a half, you'll be able to do another 2 minutes. You know what I mean?
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
And it's very good to know that, because that means that if you're with a partner who wants you to go, instead of 2 minutes, wants you to do like, I don't know whether I should say 8 minutes. Let's say 5.
Yeah.
The blue pill won't help. It will just
Well,
make
some
you go 2
people,
minutes
they
many
say-
times.
Yeah, so it will not help you stay hard longer. It will just help you get hard off it. if
Okay,
you want.
okay, I get that.
And which is why some of them you even take the effect will last 36 hours. People think that your erection will last 36 hours. No, it just means within the same 36 hours, you don't have to take it over and over again, but you can have sex over and over again.
Okay.
So the length is dependent on the man and probably his partner, and not anything anybody can do about it. You think?
Yeah, the amount of time. I mean, it will take you to ejaculate, for example. That's all different for everybody.
And there are ways to increase that, but not using the pill.
But not necessarily through the pill.
Yeah,
So,
like
it can be mental.
Yeah.
And it's good to understand this because you see, you might be wanting to increase the length and then you're going for the blue pill, thinking that that will help, but it won't. Understand that it will just make you go many times.
Yeah.
It will not increase the pill. So do not use it for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
Another thing that I wanted to say is, why are we having many deaths associated with it, especially for the older men? What is not happening, or what is the problem?
Well, the thing about sildenafil is, first of all, we have sometimes, I have experienced this, where we have unregulated products in the market, right? And the reason why I don't want to mention the one brand name is because there are so many generics in the market. I mean, and that's what I was telling you, even the price difference. The original is like 900 bob per pill, but you can get a generic for 100 bob, you know. So one, people are taking it off without prescriptions, because by the time your doctor prescribes it to you, there's a lot of blood work that goes into this. They have to make sure they understand why it is that you have the ED, and in that way the doctor will then be able to decide, do I give you 25 milligrams, do we use another method? There are many other methods, by the way. It's just that I think when the pill came, everybody was set, now it's just pop a pill and go, but there's many different treatments for ED, not just the pill. And so with not poor regulation, but we have products out there that are not regulated. And I've worked in a pharmacy where there was this little powder that this old man always used to come in and say, nipatie ile powder ya wazee. And I used to be like, this powder, you know. And so I asked my colleague, and he was like, oh, I know that guy, and he bent over and he picked up this packet, it's a sachet, which he sold to the man.
What was in the sachet?
And I asked him, I said, what is in that? It said herbal, but later on, when they were caught up with in the market by the pharmacy board and it was tested, it was found to just have the same sildenafil, but it's labeled herbal, so everybody's thinking it's a herbal product and whatever. So there's a lot of unregulated stuff that people are taking, and you don't know what's in there. You don't know what the measure of sildenafil that's in there. That's one. Two, sildenafil works by causing your blood vessels, your arteries to dilate.
All over your body, not just the ones at your penis. The whole body.
When you have a headache, for example, even from a hangover, it's because your blood vessels have dilated in your head, and now that dilation causes headaches.
Oh, that's why you have headaches.
Yes. So
now we know.
Now we know. So if you want,
which is why for headaches, a lot of times if you take caffeine, for example, most of these Maramoja has caffeine and whatever. Caffeine causes them to constrict. So then that stops the headache. Anyway, so the same way with sildenafil, it causes vasodilation all over your body, which is why one of the side effects is headache. You get this red look on your face because now the blood has flown into all your arteries, and now you're looking flushed and red. So
interesting.
I know. That might even affect the whole performance issue, because if I'm used to you dark and handsome, now you're looking reddish.
Exactly.
And if you're very light, it's going to be more evident.
But I think a person will turn red with or without the medicine because of the moment. What do you think? Do you think the medicine will
usually it sets
when
the blood right?
It
goes to your penis because you need it there to cause to maintain the erection.
So it actually does that all over the body. And would you now have instances of, is it easier to bleed elsewhere or anyway? What is wrong with vasodilation? There's a headache aspect.
So now you can imagine what happens. So if, let's say, you've heard about the interaction with nitrate, with, nitroglycerin and heart medications, blood pressure medications. So those also cause vasodilation, because think about your blood pressure. So when you constrict your blood vessels, the blood pressure goes up. So most drugs actually cause vasodilation so that the blood doesn't have that pressure. So now you can imagine you've taken sildenafil and then you've taken another vasodilator.
Yeah.
So all your blood has rushed, and now your heart, the volume going to your heart is less. And that's what causes the heart to start now trying to catch up, and that could cause a heart attack itself.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You know what I was just thinking about before we started is, let's say a lady's husband has high blood pressure or diabetes, and it's causing him to have ED. And so as a layperson, I think, or just buy just get the blue pill. And now that you're talking about blood and vasodilation, then maybe it's not that obvious of a solution. So what's the solution for someone who has ED because of blood pressure related issues?
Yeah, because those people cannot be prescribed that drug because, like you're saying, it's going to be an excess.
Well, what happens is we don't say they can't take it, they just need to be monitored. So most times it's either we adjust your dosing, or you start on the lowest dose, or none at all. Then we'll give you all the other, ways you can solve you can work with the ED or fix it. So it's not just the pill that's available, but the reason why we say it needs to be prescribed is because there are considerations. And maybe your doctor can even decide to change you from whatever interacting drug it is to something else, which is why you need your doctor involved in this process. It's not it's not just safe to just take it off over the counter.
Off the shelf,
Yeah.
And maybe that explains why a lot of times the people who seem to die because of use of the blue pill are older people. Because by then, you are likely to be having those lifestyle diseases, and you are also likely to be using like a high blood pressure pill. So now it's like you take that pill and then you take Viagra.
They're clashing.
Yeah, so let me talk about some myths that we've had in the market. Like if you do take Viagra, and of course, let's say you take it 30 to 60 minutes ahead because you're planning to meet someone, and then that person does not show up, what are you going to do to now remove the blood which is in the chambers?
No.
Oh. Myths. I know you can.
Good question.
So when you take Viagra,
Yes.
it doesn't mean you take Viagra and the blood rushes to your penis. No, there has to be sexual stimulation. Without sexual stimulation, really nothing will happen. It's like you've done nothing. Yeah, but it has to. There has to be the sexual stimulation for the blood to rush. So you do nothing.
If you do nothing,
show up, you're fine.
You're good to
Life
go.
goes on. Yeah.
Oh, that's a myth. Because I also had this question about, like if you take it and then you don't have any sex, like maybe you're going to die or something.
Yeah, or are you not going to be like overly sexually charged?
No.
Yeah, like going around looking for.
Yeah, like if you see a woman, the guy is like, hey, my God, I'm a die.
It doesn't work like that. No, there has to be sexual stimulation for even the erection to happen. It's just that now when it does happen, then the chambers fill up better than without.
All right, guess what? We do need to take a break. So viewer, keep it right here. We'll be right back.
Theology schools were established to prepare people to preach the clear gospel of Jesus Christ. They were designed to teach the truths of the Bible and to build an unwavering faith in God. However, as time has passed, theological institutions found themselves placing the thoughts of man above the Word of God. It's time to look past rigid and theory-centric theological curricula and return to a true study of the Bible that will instill faith in our hearts and strengthen our spirits. Good News Theology School offers practical, flexible, and affordable systematic study of the Word through insightful lectures, engaging student-led projects, and heart-to-heart fellowship with classmates and professors alike. Good News Theology School is where future servants of the gospel learn how to preach the light of Jesus Christ to those who are stuck in sin and despair. Register today and become a missionary of Christ, no matter where you are.
My name is Tigist Hailu.
Hello, I'm Dr. Ruben West
I'm Dr. Charles Mukuka
from the United States of America.
I come from Ethiopia.
from Zambia.
I love Kenya very much.
I love the Kenyan people.
Love is not by confession. Love is by action. When you're a husband, you are not a husband.
It's very important.
You can count the seeds in an apple, but you can never count the number of apples in a seed.
Her phone is a phone. My phone is my phone.
You only know what you know.
Who forced you?
The more you spend time together, the more strong you will.
A woman is like a Bible.
Could tell me that they were born and it wasn't from a female, I'd like to know.
A woman, she's a good asset. And a woman, she's a very, very good investment.
Welcome back, viewer. Today we're talking about something that's very interesting, and one thing that I realize is that there's a lot of ignorance, lack of knowledge when it comes to use of sexual enhancing drugs, and that is why we have in studio an expert who is telling us about what it does, what it doesn't do, when you should avoid it, when you should consult your doctor. And by the way, one thing that has come out very clearly is that it is not an over-the-counter pill. It is a prescription-only drug. So kindly, if you want to use it, if you're a lady and you know your husband has ED, erectile dysfunction, you know, there are many ways that you can solve that problem. And those ways require professional help, not over the counter. So you need to see a physician and they will guide you about what to do. So welcome and enjoy the show. So Lillian, you had a question about,
Yeah, I was just wondering, is the blue pill open to women or is there a pink pill?
Okay, let's first talk about what the blue pill is also used for. It is not only for erectile dysfunction, but it's also used for what we call pulmonary hypertension, which is high blood pressure in your lungs.
Oh, it has another use?
Yes,
Oh.
yes. So it is used for that purpose. So in that case, it is used even with children over 1. You know, there's actually a suspension which even children take. So that said, remember, sildenafil is all about blood flow, right? And even with female stimulation, it's all about blood flow.
Yeah.
Once you have blood flow going there, you get hot and bothered pretty much, right? So yes, it gives the same reaction for women. However, it is not registered for that purpose. So I have had patients who took it off-label, which means your doctor prescribes it for that purpose, but it is not registered for that purpose. However, yes, we do have a pink pill.
We do?
Yes.
Good news, right?
Yeah.
Women have not been forgotten.
Yeah, we've not been forgotten.
For a long time we were, but
A long time.
And nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Do women use the pink pill? Anyway, tell us about
yes,
it.
there is a pink pill, which, by the way, you take every day, whether you're going to have sex or not.
Oh.
And then we
It's
have
like-
an
it's like birth control.
injectable one. Yes.
I don't like that already. Yeah, it's okay. We need to have a pink pill menace.
It should be so hard.
Every day.
Yeah, kind of
Okay.
like birth control, which is a bore. But then
What does
there's
it do in the
also
pink pill?
the same thing. So it's once there's sexual stimulation, then you're able to, and it also increases your libido, your desire to have sex.
Why do I need to take it every day?
It's just the way it was designed, But then I was going to say there's also another one which is an injectable, and that one like sildenafil,
You inject yourself.
you inject yourself 30 minutes to
How about
30
no,
to
no,
60
no.
minutes.
This is very unfair. Yeah, I'm not liking these vibes of blue pill injection.
We always get the short end of the
We're
stick,
getting the
don't
short
we?
end of the stick. Now, before you do it, now you have to inject yourself.
Yeah.
People out there who are doing research and development, hear our cries. Please make it simple.
But remember, there's still the blue option. So
But
And
you're not saying
regulated.
it.
I'm not saying.
We didn't hear it from you. Okay, got it.
We got it. Okay.
Got it.
Also, this one you take it every day or you inject? Maybe that you want the effects to be more long term.
What do you mean?
Like the blue pill, the fact that you have to take it every day.
The blue pill, which one? The
No,
pink
sorry,
pill.
the pink pill.
The pink pill.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you see, with women, libido is a really, even getting to the act of sex, you start foreplay in the morning, So you kind of want to be ready when it does come, because it's sometimes, especially in premenopausal women and menopausal women, it sometimes requires that you start. You won't be able to build up in an hour, for example. So it was just designed that way. Okay. And even with women in menopause and premenopausal, sometimes hormone replacement enhances your libido too. So, you get back on estrogen replacement, and that will help.
All right. Wow. Interesting.
I want to vent. I feel like every time women have sexual issues and you go for help, you're just told, do not, it's called what? Don't keep your husband hungry.
I know.
That's
always.
the big
The focus
advice
is on
we are
the guy.
given.
Yeah.
That's
Like you just be ready for it anytime, all the time. Or even if you have quarreled, forget about what you want. It's about,
Yeah, so ladies,
No.
Dr. Kabugo is here with good news. There are options for us to,
Amen.
there are options. And we are still calling out to all researchers and manufacturers. Please make it easy for us.
Make it easy for women. We are the market,
Yeah.
It takes two to tango.
Yeah.
And you know what? Another myth that I wanted us to talk about is, I thought that ED has got something to do with testosterone levels. Am I wrong? Because all we've talked about here is blood flow. What is the role of testosterone when it comes to the erectile dysfunction? Or is there no relationship at all?
There is some relationship, which is why before we run to buy the pill over the counter, we need to go and have hormone levels
tests.
checked.
Yeah.
Sometimes you will be put on testosterone replacement therapy, and that will solve the problem.
Voila.
So it's important that it is followed up. It's all done through a doctor so that they can establish. But yes, there is a relationship between low testosterone and ED.
Okay. And you mentioned earlier that if you start taking, a sexual enhancing drug when you're 25, what are you going to do at 70? And you talked about dependence. And what I'm hearing here is that, is it addictive, or is the addiction element or the dependency element real physically, or is it just mental?
It's mental.
It's mental.
It's
So
mental.
it's not harmful in the fact that it's not addictive.
No.
Okay, but your mind can get addicted to it.
Your mind can believe that you can't do without it.
Okay, I
So
get it.
then that in itself, the psychogenic nature of that will cause you not to be having a normal or natural erection.
Because your mind, you've made your mind to believe that, and therefore you're going to always have to, and it's quite expensive. I mean, if you want to go for the original and it's 900,
you might as well deal with your issues.
you better deal with your issues.
Yeah.
You better deal with your
Yeah.
issues.
There are cheaper ways
You
to
better
do it.
run, go for that run, because it's got so many more benefits. And honestly, the risks associated with this, I'm not able to say that compound. What are you calling
No, you
it?
can call it sildenafil.
Sildenafil.
Yeah.
Sildenafil.
Yeah.
You really don't want to, that vasodilation, I think it's a bit risky because, I feel like,
It's artificial. Do you feel like it's artificial?
It's artificial, but I feel like it could be ruining your blood vessels without your knowledge, like making them wear out.
No,
if you have a
really.
clot, like I feel like you can have internal bleeding. That's just what's in my head.
Yeah. Well, what happens is with priapism, and priapism is an erection that lasts too long, right? With priapism, and sometimes, people get kinky in the bedroom. I've seen people wear cock rings, and a cock ring goes at the base of your penis to
And it's
maintain. Yeah, it's very tight.
Yeah.
In cases like that, you will damage and cause permanent ED now. You will damage the blood vessels. Yeah.
And would, sorry to ask this, would jumping into cold water at that point help? I have a question like that. I'm telling you.
Really?
This is not me. I'm like, the question is there. Like, if it refuses to go down, can one dip it in cold water? This is a question I'm reading. Don't think that this is me. Disclaimer.
You're asking for someone.
I'm asking for
That's the way
someone.
you make it
For a
sound,
friend.
No
like,
problem.
dip it in cold water, like in this glass. Or,
Like you go, do you,
Cold
go to a
shower.
Go take a cold shower. I know
Yeah.
cold showers help, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think
Because what is the thing? you
it's
can
all
do?
in your mind. Because think
So
about
switch
it.
off,
People
switch
have
off,
sex
yeah.
in a swimming pool, right? The water is cold. It's all in your mind.
Yeah.
It really is.
So number one, don't panic.
Don't panic.
Don't panic.
Definitely
Or will
not.
panic help to?
No. Panic actually makes it worse.
Okay.
Don't
Okay,
panic.
don't panic.
Yeah.
Just switch off maybe in your mind. Anyway, yeah. Okay.
Can it cause, if you take the blue pill the wrong way, can it cause you to get stuck inside? Can it cause a man to get stuck
That is
inside?
something totally different.
That
I
is
think.
totally different. You're talking about vaginismus, which is actually
Yeah.
the female who
The female now has contracted.
contracts. Yeah.
At that point, she should take the blue pill because she will now dilate.
Even that usually is just a
That's a
mind
bad joke,
thing
guys.
too. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so speak to that lady whose husband is struggling with ED. I feel like men really struggle, first of all, with everything. Psychological problems, they don't have awareness.
They can't talk.
I mean, yeah, and then now if it goes physical, it now compounds the issue. So how does the woman handle it very well so that she's not telling him, get the blue pill, I don't like you without the pill, so get the pill.
I had a similar
and just
conversation
to add up to that, there's this conversation of, when I'm with you, my wife of many years, it doesn't happen, but when I'm with a young person, all of a sudden it happens. Is that a myth or a fact? Amma, that's a discussion for another day.
That's a discussion for another day.
Okay,
and I
don't
think
ignore it. Okay, move on.
So, but the first thing you do is have a conversation with your partner, because I find communication just makes things easier, right? So it is talk to your husband, find out, was it a stressful day? Has it been a stressful season? Was 2020 really, and then from there I always say, first do what you can do now. Stop smoking, cut down on your drinking, start exercising.
So smoking has got a direct relationship. And when you say stop
smoking causes what we call atherosclerosis, which is
it lines
the blood vessels collect cholesterol inside. So that in itself causes ED.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I hate to ask this, but it's a thing. It's another myth that the husband is not functioning well because the wife is very quarrelsome, or
I know.
But that's psychological.
I feel those are lies.
Psychological. I mean, if every time you come home and it's just I mean, you usually don't feel like
with this person.
So
you can, an erection.
But if there's a conflict, we have to deal with it.
Which is why I'm saying communicate.
But let's agree.
But now when I'm communicating, I'm told
it's annoying.
Yeah.
Your mode of communicating is annoying.
Maybe your mode of communication.
It's causing ED.
Yeah.
Your mode of communication causes ED.
That's not getting it out.
I hope there's no man out there who has told any woman that your mode of communication causes ED.
But
that is really terrible.
Couple therapy.
That's therapy.
Yeah.
Is a good option.
Yeah, that's why people go to couple therapy. We have sex therapists out there who will help you get whatever it is you're unstuck, wherever it is you're stuck.
But it's very legit. I think that is very legit. Like, you can reach a place in your relationship where there's so much baggage that you're actually stuck, and that you can never experience desire, sexual desire with this person because of what the relationship has become. I think it's not that you're causing erectile dysfunction in this case. It's just that the relationship is not working.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
The relationship has not worked.
And
that's why you would say.
With sex, a lot of times, especially when you get things have to be aligned.
Things have to be
you had a good day, things are going well,
like party after party.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even for women, foreplay starts in the morning from Good Morning Sunshine, and then throughout the day, have you had lunch? Let me buy you a cup of coffee. I mean, by evening, you're ready to.
You're ready. You don't even need any drugs. The blood is just flowing right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a process.
I think so. So that's the thing that let's not run into solving this problem using a drug and ignoring all the other associated issues. Which unfortunately they take time because they work, but they work in the long term. Okay, so the drugs work in the short term, but they're not sustainable. But these other methods, they take longer to work, but they are more long term, and the relationship will be better. Quality. Yeah, I think that So is that a good feedback?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
I find that hilarious.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like, first of all, the first thing that happens when someone has ED is that a couple will usually go into blame mode.
Yeah.
It's your fault. No, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. And most of the time, if you go, first of all, for couple therapy, I find that so important. I also find that, I don't know why I'm feeling like, just kuchokoza wanaume, but I feel like they don't like counseling.
No, they don't, because I think most men do not want to admit that something is wrong, and that admission is a failure for them. But you know what? That's the way out of the issue.
It's a way out. It's a way out.
And I think those who do eventually then actually appreciate having it because you unpack a lot of the things that you're unable to unpack at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think also just having at least a few people you can talk to so that you're not isolated as a couple or as a person, and then you're just going through this issue on your own, and you know the mind is telling you, I'm a failure, I can't even work in bed, you know.
Yeah, and for men that is very critical.
Yeah.
But the blue pill is, how old has it been in the market? Because it's not very new. What were the solutions then? Or in the past, if you had ED, were you just supposed to just live like that? And
no, like I said, there's non-pharmacological options. Yeah. One they've had, they sound pretty scary when you hear them. But there's one called the penis implant. It's an implant that they implant into the penis.
Look at my face.
A penis they implant into
it's an implant. It's a surgical.
Surgery.
Yeah, you go for surgery and they implant it, and then it has a little pump which has fluid in it. So every time you want to have sex, you pump it up.
On the outside?
Yes, the pump is on the outside of the body.
Okay.
But the implant is in the penis. So when there's no excitement and whatever, it's flaccid, and then you know. So there's that. There is the penis pump, which you put, and I'm sure people who watch porn have probably seen the ad passing, you know, pump your penis and make it bigger and things like that. That's one of the ED treatments. I'm trying to remember the others.
So all those were the solutions that were there. How old was the blue pill?
I want to say it's been around now, what? Maybe about 25 years.
25 years, that's quite long in the market.
Maybe
Yeah, it's quite. And people have gone to uni and are now working.
Yeah.
So there are people who do not know life without it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's quite been there for long. And I don't know whether, I know you're not in the sales side of the pharmaceuticals, but are you able to tell whether the use of sexual enhancing drugs, is it on the increase or is it on the decrease?
From what I read in the papers, it's on the increase because younger and younger people are taking it.
Yeah.
I mean, and honestly, it was approved for anybody over 18 as far as it working as a sexual enhancing drug. But I understand younger and younger people are taking it. And even when I did work with patients, I rarely had a patient under 40.
Okay.
What?
But yeah. I rarely had a patient under 40.
So most of them who are using it were older, which is the correct
In
age
fact,
bracket.
as you know, research shows that about the average age of those officially prescribed for this medication is 53.
53. Okay. Oh, interesting. So
I'm wondering about the herbal alternatives. Are there any
that you can think of?
are there any herbal alternatives that you can?
One I know is ginkgo biloba.
Ginkgo biloba, yeah.
You know, there's never enough research on these things. It's just ginseng. Yeah. So I've seen products out there that contain those and claim to do it. But I always say, if you're buying it, like I said, the one we were selling was laced with sildenafil, and many of them are laced. So they'll come and tell you this onion will make you hard, but really what's in that onion is actually sildenafil. Yeah.
So that is the magic drug, the magic molecule. You know.
Well, it was the original one, but there's 4 others, I believe.
Okay. Excellent. And another thing that I think we should also consider is what should you do? Is it a GP are there certain doctors that you go to, or do you just walk into any hospital and the doctor prescribes?
I always tell people, before you start going anywhere, you go see the general practitioner, because their design, their education is enough to be able to treat with the general you. And once they identify a specific problem, for example, ED, most GPs can treat ED once they identify it, but the person you would see would be a urologist.
Because that's the system for urine and...
Yes.
Okay, a urologist. And so if you're doing your exercise and you still have ED, can you still use the blue pill? Because
if your doctor says you're clear to do it, yes.
Okay, So the important thing is that you need a medical expert to be the one
to guide that process. Yes.
But how is the regulation of it? Because if you're saying that it's used as a party drug, it means that there are lots of gaps that are not being sealed. Is there anything that you're trying to enforce as the pharmaceutical board? Anything that you're working on to seal these loopholes?
I hope they are working. I work along the pharmaceutical board, but I don't work for them.
Okay.
Yeah, but I believe they have they have a whole department of inspectors who go out there and make sure that people are following. But I do know there's a big gap because you can buy it anywhere. Like I said, even that gentleman just need to come and And I always wondered why it was kept down there. You know, why not just put it where everybody can see it?
Because it's illegal.
I thought so. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And is this practice that the misuse and abuse, is it happening only in Kenya or is it a worldwide trend?
It's a worldwide trend.
It's a worldwide trend. It's where
trend.
we're at.
Yeah, and especially now that we all know, you can use the blue pill once you're 18. So a lot of nations, like I would talk about the States. You know, many people in the States, the commercials for drugs is on TV all the time. You know. And, you know, every time they say, if you think you need this medication, talk to your doctor. And maybe even a 25-year-old can have an incident of erectile dysfunction. And I call it an incident because it's just that, an incident.
Yeah.
So it's not time to run to your doctor for anything at that point. But people do. People do.
So take your time.
And then you get them, and then guess what? Then that creates also a black market. So then you go and sell it to the other kids.
How many incidences build up into a problem? You know, like
that's why I was saying 75% of the time.
Every time.
Yeah, it should at least achieve erection 75% of the attempts.
But hang on, 75% is all good and dandy. But if you do, is it like thrice a week or once a week? If you do having it like.
So let's
100 times a year, it's easy to do 75, but what is 75?
Remember I said percent. So if you have, let's say in a week, on Monday you try it, nothing happens. On Tuesday you try it, it doesn't last long enough. On Wednesday you get a success and you're fine. Thursday you fail again. Friday you fail again. I mean, that is already over 75. Yeah.
So just do your math like in a month. Maybe.
Yeah, because I don't think anybody schedules sex. No, well, maybe some people do, but I don't know that anybody schedules sex.
Most times.
Yeah, but you can kind of tell. You know, I tried it this time, it didn't happen. I tried it the other time, it didn't happen. You know, then you can kind of gauge and see what. Yeah.
Well, I think for me, I'm thinking in terms of a year, a month, a week. So, like, if a month has passed and the man has not been able to get an erection, then is that cause for concern?
It depends. Have they tried to have sex once a month?
Yeah.
Or twice a month?
Yeah.
Or 5 times a month?
Yeah.
That's what I was asking about. The 75%. It's hard to. But I think that when you're a man, you can tell when it's an issue and when it's a one-off. And you shouldn't be in denial about it. Like, if you feel that it's a concern, just see a medic. And even if you're not sure, you better err on the side of caution. Yeah. So you better walk into a clinic and you're told, actually, you're okay. Instead of going on with this problem. Because I wonder, if ED goes untreated for long, does it make it harder to deal?
Yes, and it puts you into depression and, your self-esteem tanks, yes.
I didn't know that.
The sooner you get treated, the better, because then you maintain a little bit of your own, like I said, your self-esteem, people go into full-blown depression. And then you go get treated for depression, and the medication that you're given for depression makes it even worse.
Makes the ED even worse. As a side effect.
Yeah.
Also, it now becomes really serious.
Yeah.
So you need to, how soon? Like if I now feel that I go, should I take a month to go? Or
like I said, if you can, go ahead and do those things that you think you should be doing or not be doing. Stop, cut down the alcohol, start exercising. There are those things you can do yourself without necessarily first thing going to the doctor. And then once you've tried all those things and nothing's happening, then you seek help. Yeah.
Wow. Guess what, ladies? Time is up. So please give us your parting shot, and then we'll wrap up the show.
Thank you for having me. That was a very interesting conversation, and I look forward to having a similar one, hopefully about women and help for women this time. Thank you.
Your contacts, how can we reach you for this? Or you don't do this?
No, I don't do this. I did this for you.
Thank you. If you want more information, please contact your medical doctor.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think my parting shot would be go for couples therapy. And men, don't be afraid to ask for help. And ladies, be patient with our partners. And have a blessed week.
Yeah, thank you, guys. It's February, the month of love.
Yes.
Enjoy, love, and be loved. You know, not just your partner. Love your parents, love your family, your siblings. Love is all around. Love your children. So thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to having you next time. Bye.